Good afternoon and welcome to today's SugarCRM user group. My name is Deneen Ponrelli. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Technology Advisors. And with us today, we have Megan Sheehan, our Sugar Trainer and Business Analyst, Justin Kielthau, our Sugar Practice Manager, and Logan Henderson, the GM at Sugar Market, because today we're talking about Sugar Market, introducing you to what it's all about, and we are very happy to have Logan with us to provide his expertise on this topic. So throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, please feel free to enter those in the Q&A, and as always, we'll wrap up with some upcoming release information and additional info on upcoming events. So I'm going to hand the floor over to Logan to get us started.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you everyone for joining. Excited to be here. A little bit of background about me. Joined Sales Fusion, which is the predecessor to Sugar Market, I think as most are aware, back in 2013. So have been in the marketing technology and the marketing automation space for quite some time, kind of been through the evolution of the technologies and the use cases. So excited to tell you a little bit about our product, our platform, and kind of our vision for making marketing and sales organizations more effective. So I think the best place to start when talking about marketing automation and what Sugar Market focuses on is really to kind of key into what a marketer's objectives are. We break it down into three main categories. The first is increasing lead quality and volume. The second is quantifying the return on marketing investment. And then the third is improving customer experience and retention. When you think about kind of the evolution of a digital journey and a digital transformation of a marketing organization, most people start with email. And it's a fantastic place to start, and it is kind of the core foundational element for the transition to marketing automation, but it really doesn't help with anything beyond sending a blanket email to a set number of users. And when you start to think about the next iterations of being able to deliver personalized, highly relevant, contextual information to end users, it's really time to start evaluating marketing automation and to further progress that digital transformation strategy. We've built the tool set and the platform to focus on four main concepts here. The first of which is going to be streamlining campaign creation. That has really been the focal point of a highly intuitive user interface and looking at creating a tool and an application that's built to work for the end user. Second component is understanding engagement. This is being able to dive into all of the campaigns that you have running, the assets that you have on your website, the content that you're putting out and that you have individuals engaging with, helping to identify what are your best performing pieces of content and where are your prospects and your customers most engaging. The fourth component is improving conversion. So it's basically taking the engagement statistics that you have and being able to optimize. So that's done really through two different aspects. One is just understanding the different marketing programs that you have, being able to shorten the time as someone moves from a unknown lead to a marketing qualified lead. But then the most important aspect of it comes through the integration to CRM and being able to pass a salesperson the right lead at the right time. And the more efficiently you can do that, the better conversions you're going to yield, which ultimately leads to driving more revenue. So I like to call this our game of life slide, and what it represents is really the features and functionality that are in Sugar Market. Later in the presentation, we're going to dive into a few of these in a little bit more detail, but really the goal is to transform how you engage audiences and measure success. And the first point of that digital journey is someone coming to your website. So we're going to cookie that individual. We're going to start to track and understand which assets are they engaging with which pages are they viewing, how long were they on your website, be able to kind of get a digital footprint of their areas of interest. Maybe there are specific pain points that they're trying to solve for, and then beginning to really optimize every step of the journey based on that first level of information that you have. So going through and capturing their information via a form complete or an asset download, dropping them in to a highly personalized nurture campaign that's going to continue to send them content that is directed exclusively at the pain point that they're trying to solve, tracking all of that activity, delivering that to CRM, pushing it to the salesperson at the optimal time so that you can increase conversions, and ultimately having all of these features in one system gives you the ability to do closed loop reporting. So in many traditional marketing organizations, there's a lot of vanity metrics that we measure, whether it's the number of unique visitors to your website is a great example, which really don't provide a lot of detail as to optimization and conversion of programs. So the more that we can have all of these features and all this functionality on one system helps us better understand opportunity creation, better understand opportunity conversion, and better understand revenue. So I think one of the, marketing automation and SugarMarket as a standalone application is great. And there's a lot of use cases for a marketing organization that maybe is not ready for CRM to continue to start building their digital brand and their digital presence. But the true value of marketing automation really comes through the integration with CRM. So on the right side, we've got a screenshot of what the application looks like within Sugar today. And what we do is all of the activity that CRM, so that it provides real-time access to your sales organization, so that when they pick up the phone to engage with that prospect for the first time, they have all the detail they need to have a highly pointed and highly relevant conversation. What this ultimately leads to is a representation of a kind of standard and an optimized funnel. So when you think about an optimized funnel, this is a sales process with a robust marketing automation and CRM implementation, SLAs in place to make sure that we're all tracking and monitoring and measuring the effectiveness. And what you see is two big conversion points. One is the number of opportunities that are being generated by the marketing organization and the increase in pipeline from marketing. And then the increase in sales opportunity from nurturing leads versus just sending blast emails and hoping to engage with someone at the right time. So when you pair those two concepts together and track that all the way through the funnel, you ultimately lead to 30% increase in revenue. So when you start to think about the ROI and you start to think about what you're doing and not doing, frankly, with the same number of leads and the exact same top of funnel marketing generation, by just implementing a tool like SugarMarket, you can yield 30% higher revenue. So somewhat of, most of what I've been talking about so far is really focused on top of funnel sales and marketing alignment, but it doesn't just stop when the prospect becomes a customer. You can use automation and you can use SugarMarket to focus on the entire customer lifetime and really use it as a tool to enhance and automate customer engagement. So if you think about the stages of the customer life through the emerging kind of midlife and the retirement stage, there's different pain points, there's different interaction points all along that journey, from making sure that someone is successfully implementing or adopting your solution, to soliciting feedback, understanding their net promoter score, being able to use survey tools to gain further information about where their pain points, where their areas of interest, and then really looking at that through the lens of cross-sell and upsell. The majority of businesses are going to make money on repeat and recurring customers, and being able to continue to market your customers, being able to continue to understand, are they maybe looking at a secondary product on your website? All of that information is going to be gathered and surfaced to your sales and account management team at the right time. If you kind of flip that and you think about it on the retention side, it also helps with understanding, are there declining usage? Do you see a lack of email engagement? Maybe you're talking about a new product release, but all of a sudden someone stops responding to those emails. That's a great way to be notified that you need to have a high-touch win-back campaign to go after and make sure that they're going to be a customer for life. Always like to talk about case studies, especially when you think about, most of what we've covered so far is, from analysts and from personal experience, but being able to understand how a customer felt the improvements of implementing SugarMarket and what that means to your business. We have a joint customer, Cyrus, based in Southern California. Fantastic customer. They had separate marketing automation and CRMs. So they've been a long-time SugarCRM customer. They had historically been using HubSpot. They had to have middleware for a third-party integration. They ran into all sorts of data integrity and syncing issues that really led to a lag in the time that their sales team could follow up with the marketing-generated leads. We went through a full evaluation process, transferred their entire HubSpot instance over to SugarMarket. The integration between SugarMarket and SugarCRM is fantastic, syncs on a 15-minute basis. So everything that they struggled with on the middleware components and making sure that their sales team had the most relevant and up-to-date information was eliminated right off the bat. And in addition to that, the intuitiveness of the platform was something that the Cyrus marketing organization, which is small, really found value in, because as a small marketing organization, you're responsible for lead generation, for content creation, for events, for webinars. The list goes on, and it continues to get longer and longer. And the more time that you can spend outside of a technology platform, focusing on doing some of those other items, like building great content, is going to have a profound effect on the success of your marketing programs. So all around, a fantastic example of what it means to have a fully integrated platform and the value that SugarMarket can bring to your organization. Always great, though. It's great as we talk about a customer, but really thinking about what are some of the statistics and why would I look at evaluating SugarMarket? Why would I look at it evaluating marketing automation in general? I'm satisfied with my email platform. I think it works today. And really the stats are quite profound, that over 60% of companies that outgrow their competition are using marketing automation today to drive that growth. Marketers who use a marketing automation platform have a 60% higher lead to sales conversion ratio. But then the most important statistic, and we talked about it a little bit in the funnel optimization, is that 75% of companies using marketing automation see ROI in the first 12 months. So it may be a large investment if you're only using an email platform today, but the value that you're going to get from increased revenue and the closed-won business you're going to be able to attribute to your marketing-generated pipeline is pretty profound. Always like to show how the platform stacks up. So this is a snapshot from G2 Crowd. They're the leading peer-to-peer review site, and across the board, SugarMarket wins. So from the requirements of the platform to the setup and configuration to the quality of support and doing business with us. Obviously, you all are very familiar with the Sugar support organization. Everything that's gone into to building a world-class customer experience organization. That was something that we were very aligned on when we first started having conversations about a combination, putting customers first was at the center of both of our business practices. So we were very aligned on it, and we're incredibly excited because we think that across the board, we can excel in all of these categories, and that this is just kind of the starting point, and we're very excited to see where we're going to go from here. In summary, before we move on to talk about a few of the features and functions that are part of the platform, wanted to kind of summarize why customers choose SugarMarket either over an existing email platform or of another marketing automation provider. First and foremost, it is the capabilities and the functionality that you get that comes in one package. So there's no entry level, mid-level, enterprise level. There's no features that are gated for this requirement or that requirement. We have focused on building a tool set that is exactly what a marketing organization needs to drive increased revenue and increase their pipeline conversion metrics. And we don't want to gate specific functionality, into an enterprise package that's going to be a requirement for you to do your job. Following on that is our embedded reporting module. So about 2 years ago, we really analyzed the market and took a look at where people were still struggling with marketing technology, and it all came down to reporting. So we underwent a huge effort to build our advanced analytics module, which is not only the most sophisticated and advanced tool of all marketing automation providers, but frankly is one of the most incredible BI tools I've ever seen. We built that in conjunction with a business called Looker. So really excited about what you can do with the reporting feature to really understand which programs are working and which aren't. The intuitive user interface. So you'll see some screenshots from emails and landing pages and forms. There's no HTML required to build campaigns. And that's fantastic because most organizations do not have someone with very strong HTML or CSS experience. But really, the reason it's impactful is because it increases adoption and it increases your team's efficiency. So I said it earlier, the more time that we can get you out of the system and doing other things that are on your plate, the better. And that's ultimately our goal. Support for unlimited custom fields. So when we run the integration with your existing SugarCRM instance, we map over your table schema. Why that's meaningful is any custom field that you have on your contact, on your account, on your opportunity, on your lead tables, we're going to create a corresponding field within SugarMarket, and any of that detail can be used for segmentation, for scoring, or for personalization. From a back-end and from an infrastructure perspective, we have spent a lot of time focusing on building a highly intuitive platform that is built with enterprise requirements on the back end. So there's things like auto-scaling servers, data warehousing via Amazon Web Services, international data centers. So we're hosted in the US as well as the UK and looking to expand into Canada and Germany, our two kind of big markets that will soon support the SugarMarket platform. And it's something that's very crucial to the success and the long-term success of this business, is making sure that it has a highly performant back end. Marketing expertise is something that we have seen organizations struggle with time and time again. You maybe haven't implemented lead scoring for the first time. Maybe you don't have an idea of the types of nurture programs you should be building. Maybe you don't know the workflows that you want between your marketing automation and your CRM. We have a team of in-house experts who walk you through that and really take a proactive approach to making sure that you are successful when deploying the technology. We want to make sure that not only are we going to train you to utilize the features and functionality that are in the system, but that we also create an entire ecosystem for your business so that we understand all of your needs, all of your use cases, everything that you're trying to accomplish, and build all of that together so that when you're going through the implementation and onboarding process, you've got a dedicated rep who's exclusively focused on your account. And when you graduate onboarding, you have a system that's fully live. So you have nurtures running, you've got scoring profiles set up, you're already integrated with your CRM. So leads and contacts are syncing back and forth. Those are always up to date. And then the last component is unlimited support. So, marketing is a highly critical business function. And if you are struggling to get a campaign out the door, those many times are highly time sensitive. And you need to be able to pick up the phone and call someone. You need to be able to email. You need to have in-app chat. You need to have a level of service that most other providers are either going to charge you for or not provide whatsoever. So when thinking about, what do we offer, it's truly a complete, intuitive, and affordable solution that's built to support your needs as an organization. So I think it's helpful to kind of go through some of the key features and some of the overviews. It also gives you a snapshot of what the interface looks like. It's highly modern, fully cloud deployed, Angular front end, built on Google's material design. So it's got the look and feel of any modern web browser, similar to operating in your Google Chrome browser. The first thing that you come into when you open the application is the global dashboard. All card UI, so every one of these charts that you see, you can drill down into. You can see the underlying data, very similar to what you can do within SugarCRM today, that you kind of continue to operate within the same plane, is the same experience you're going to have here. And this is designed to give you a quick and high-level snapshot of all of your marketing programs, so that as soon as you open the platform, you can see what's my sales and marketing performance, which is essentially your total pipeline. How are my email campaigns performing? How's my deliverability, making sure that I'm continuing to hit inboxes and people are opening and engaging with my emails? What's going on my website? Who's there? How are they engaging? Being able to have all of that information so that it's readily available. You can point and click into any of it if you see a spike or an anomaly that you want to be able to drill into. All of that is right there, and that's kind of where you enter the home screen. If you think about kind of the core footprint of marketing automation, one of the key features that kind of goes throughout the entire platform is our email builder. So the email builder gives you a number of different options. One, we've got pre-built templates, so you can use templates that have been kind of tested and are following a proven format. We've got pre-built themes. If you want to take something that is a little bit more easily modified, that you can make adjustments and color schemes, you could take a theme. But then we also give you the ability to code your own email. And what's great about that is if you do have HTML or CSS experts in-house, they can create raw code directly in the platform. It renders as is. But if you also maybe work with an agency who does some of these services for you, they're able to provide that code, and we can just import it directly in the system, so you're not trying to recreate emails. You can use all of your legacy assets, all of your templates. All of that can be converted and used in a matter of minutes. We've got some really interesting features that have been kind of foundational elements, one of which is making sure that anytime you're using one of the builders, so for emails, forms, pages, they're all going to be mobile optimized. So making sure that they're going to render appropriately on a desktop as well as a mobile browser is key for a superior end user experience. But then we also have advanced testing functionality that you can see over, I think in total, it's 50 different devices and browsers. How is this content going to render? So you can see what it looks like in Outlook versus Gmail, on Android versus iPhone. Gives you a lot of different options to show that, as well as run a advanced spam diagnostic to tell you how likely that email is to make it to the inbox. Pages and forms. So again, no need for code. Everything is drag and drop within the pages and forms. You can add in columns and rows. You can add in imagery, videos. It's a great way to be able to spin up landing pages and little microsites in a matter of minutes. And what's great is this is all built on the SugarMarket asset library. So you can keep all of your content, all of your creative assets in a central repository and use them throughout all of your campaigns. So you can use an image in an email campaign as a landing page, and it's very intuitive to just double-click in, access the library, and import that image. You can also link it to a third-party site or an external website. So maybe you want to link a particular piece of content to something on your web page or your website homepage. You're able to automatically link that up and set it up to be configured as such. When you think about forms, forms are the start of kind of the automation engine. So you have a lot of different options that you can do with a form, whether it's just a simple contact us or a demo request form, or maybe it is a survey. What's great is the rules engine on the back end is going to be automatically mapped to all of those CRM fields. So again, we talked about custom fields. Maybe you have fields for each one of your product lines. You have a form that says, I'm interested in sugar market versus sugar sell. That is automatically going to map over. You can create a rule and a logic that is going to route that to the right rep at the right time and kind of take some of the manual lead distribution right off the table. Nurturing. So most people are familiar with nurturing programs and kind of the reason behind running, a long tail nurture to continue to improve engagement, continue to push an individual further down the buying cycle. But what's really interesting, I like to think of nurtures in particular for a use case. So let's say you generate a marketing lead who's not quite ready to buy. Salesperson talks to them. It's a good lead, but they need to follow up in 6 months. Traditionally, a salesperson has just, put a task and a reminder for themselves to follow up in 5 months. But those 5 months, you need to continue to engage with them. You need to continue to make sure that when they think about a project, they think about your company name. And so the salesperson directly from CRM can drop that individual back into a nurture campaign. The marketing automation takes over, continues to send them contextual emails and content that's highly personalized. And then once they, are ready to buy, it's passed back over to the salesperson. Lead scoring. So I talked a little bit about being able to pass it over to the salesperson at the right time. What's interesting and unique about Sugar Market's lead scoring capabilities is one, there is no limit to the number of scoring profiles you can create. You also have no time constraints. So if you want to look at a scoring profile over the last 30 days and a scoring profile over the lifetime of your engagement with that prospect, you can create that. We also score on 2 different types of data. One is going to be engagement data, have they been on your website, have they opened emails, have they completed a form, but the other is going to be demographic or firmographic information. So a great example of this is titles. Maybe that your ideal customer is someone with a VP of marketing title, and they fill out a form and put their title in as a VP of marketing. You want to rank that individual higher than you would someone with an associate title because that person's not a decision maker. So you can make not only engagement level scoring and behavioral level scoring, but also almost a lead grade based on the individual traits of that person. Couple more things to talk about, and then we'll open everything up for questions. But we, about 4 months ago, released our Sugar Ads functionality. This is a highly intuitive, AI-backed way of being able to quickly develop and launch optimized Google search ads. So we are a certified Google partner, and within the platform, you can go in and walk through a builder and a step-by-step process to help you create search campaigns and Google search campaigns that are optimized and ready to go and easily being deployed from the system, but also being tracked from the system. So as soon as you're launching these optimized campaigns, someone clicks on it, they're directed to a landing page. We're going to capture all that information, and we're going to be able to follow that individual rather than being traditionally measuring them from they clicked on a campaign, great, I'm going to call that a conversion. We really care about what's the dollar associated with that opportunity. So it's a great way to go an entire layer down from your paid advertising spend to really understand how many opportunities am I generating and what's the associated dollar value with all of those. The last part to talk about, and I've already kind of covered this, so I'll hopefully fly through this one a little quickly, but the advanced analytics capabilities. So I talked about we built this in conjunction with Looker. What is fantastic about this feature is that it puts the power back in the marketing team's hands to really prove the value of what they're doing and do it in a highly automated way. So in a traditional, reporting sense, a marketer spends 4 to 6 hours per week generating reports and trying to scrutinize data, really just to show the value of what they're doing. If our goal is to give you time back in your day to do other things, that needs to be automated. So with this feature, you can go in, you can create dashboards, you can create unique reports that are always going to be up to date, that are going to report on really anything that you care about on your business. You're able to look at campaign performance, you're able to look at source performance, you can merge in contact and account and campaign data, so you've got unified views across tables. All of that is set up with a fantastic visualization engine. So let's say you wanted to run a report for leads that were generated by geography, by state, and you wanted to heat map, red for low volume, green for high volume, so that your sales team could see the distribution of leads. You could build that report, create a visualization, and send that to them in a matter of 5 minutes. So a great way to stay not only on top of your own performance, but also make sure that the rest of your organization knows what's working and what's not. We have a dashboard, an executive level dashboard that we've set up that is set to basically to send a PDF report of that Friday afternoon. And it's a look back on the week's performance. So every Friday afternoon, everyone on the executive team gets a snapshot of what the marketing teams generated from pipeline, what were their highest converting campaigns, what were our best converting assets. And there's no need to go through the cumbersome reporting process that everyone's kind of been burdened with for the past few years. There's a better way to do it, and that better way is through our advanced analytics feature. Pause there, open it up for questions, or we can pass everything on.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Logan. And then, of course, yes, if you have any questions, please send them through. I'm sure some of you have questions on, well, I'm a Sugar customer. I have, my whole setup. How is this going to affect me? How are these new changes going to affect me? Megan and Justin are going to be diving into that in a minute here. But just personal note from Logan's side of the presentation is I love that you mentioned that you guys are not gating any functions. As a marketer, I really appreciate that. That means that whether you're a small business or a huge enterprise, you're getting the same shot at doing marketing the way you need to do it. And I think that was a good call on your guys' part. So it was really cool for me to see some of these screenshots and get this initial first dive to understand what you guys are including in this and how that's reflected in the interface, which, by the way, looks very clean and very approachable.
Yeah, thank you. We spent a lot of time going through that and did a lot of market evaluation just to see if that was the right call from a business standpoint. And we truly want to enable the marketer to be as successful as possible. And it is more important for a small marketing organization to have the technology to support them because they don't have the headcount to support them for all those functions. So you've got to make sure that the team and the organization has the tools necessary to drive their business forward and drive revenue.
Okay, so again, any questions that you have, feel free to shoot those over, but we're gonna kind of dive into our what's new with sugar, and you know, Megan and Justin are going to bring their information to this discussion.
Thanks, Deneen. All right, so what's new with sugar is probably a little bit more than usually happens during our 2-month pause between our user groups. As most of you have probably seen by now, Sugar made some pretty dramatic announcements on July 31st. Part of that is a new logo with new colors, a new corporate vision and mission statements, and probably the thing that you're most interested in learning more about is the new product suite with the Sugar Market, Sugar Sell, and Sugar Serve product line. Before I dive into those 3 products, I think it's really important to talk about the 3 pillars that Sugar has announced as part of this change. So these 3 pillars are what they're using as core tenets to build value proposition and differentiate themselves from other products in the CRM space and the marketing space. And so what you're going to see is these 3 pillars are really what's going to drive product development and innovation as Sugar is trying to deliver on these 3 big goals. So those 3 pillars are listed here. The first one is having an intelligent customer experience platform. As part of that, a big piece of that pillar is being able to unify disparate data into a single time-aware customer data model. This is something that you're going to see Sugar announce more news about later this year, I believe. So stay tuned for more news in that area. Second pillar is no-touch information management. So you've seen Sugar driving towards this already over the past few years, especially with the development around Sugar Hint. Really making it easier for people to use the CRM system and drive value because they can spend less time entering data and more time actually using that data to do positive things. And then finally, the third pillar is continuous cloud innovation. Sugar is really kind of doubling down on Amazon Web Services, not only hosting Sugar on AWS as a hosting platform, but taking a good look at all of the different services that AWS provides and leveraging those as part of Sugar. So really offloading the development of some of those pieces of functionality to AWS development, and being able to take advantage of what's already out there and best of breed in the market space, as opposed to having to focus on that in-house. So the new product suite is the 3 new products, Sugar Sell, Sugar Market, and Sugar Serve. And so what this new product suite means is, first of all, any new Sugar customers who are going to be hosted in Sugar's cloud will purchase one or more of those 3 products. They won't purchase Sugar Professional or Sugar Enterprise, which is what most of you existing customers would be using today. So existing cloud customers, if you are already using Sugar Professional or Sugar Enterprise and you're on Sugar's cloud, you don't have to move. You can stay on Sugar Professional and Enterprise for as long as you want, or you can make a decision that it makes sense to move to one or more of these 3 new products. Sugar has no plans to stop supporting Sugar Professional and Enterprise or stop providing new features and innovations for Sugar Professional and Enterprise. However, they have said that some new features may only be included in Sugar Sell or Sugar Serve. They'll just determine on a feature-by-feature basis where each thing makes sense. In some places, something is built on top of something that perhaps was only in Sugar Sell or Sugar Serve. Therefore, that feature would only be available in those products and not in Sugar Professional or Enterprise. And then Sugar is not moving away from offering an on-premise solution. So Sugar will continue to offer an on-premise solution for those who don't want to be hosted in Sugar's cloud. Sugar Professional and Enterprise will remain the on-premise products. So Sugar Sell, Sugar Market, and Sugar Serve are all cloud-only products. Sugar Professional and Sugar Enterprise, you may still have them in the cloud if you were a customer with Sugar prior to July 31st, but new customers will continue to purchase those products on-premise with the same once-a-year annual release cycle that Sugar's had for the last couple of years. This is obviously a pretty dramatic change that Sugar has announced. It's something that we know there are lots of questions about, lots of concerns about. I've when we have our follow-up email, Deneen will be sharing a couple of links. There's a really great post in Sugar community from Sugar executive team about the change, about what's driving this decision, about what it means for customers and what they're excited about in terms of, what to look forward to related to this. Sugar also had a webinar last week for customers talking about the 3 new products and what the 3 new pillars mean for customers. So I'd encourage you to check those out. We're also going to do a deeper dive into this in our next user group. We didn't want to take away too much of Logan's time today from being able to present Sugar Market to you and really show you the great things Sugar Market can do, but we understand that people have questions about this. When we get to that slide, you'll see we're actually going to do it quicker than we usually do. Instead of taking a 2-month break between user groups, we're going to do our next user group next month so that we have a chance to dive a little deeper into this topic with you. And of course, you can always reach out to your customer success manager and set up a time to discuss this further if you've got specific questions about, what the right choice might be for your business in terms of whether or not you want to consider moving to Sugar Cell, Serve, or both.
Since our last user group, Sugar has released Sugar version 9.1. It is a cloud-only release, which means on-premise customers will get this sometime next year when they do their yearly on-premise release. There's a lot of really good stuff with this release. Obviously, they're starting to get prepared for Sugar Cell, Sugar Market, and Sugar Serve. But one of the things that we've asked for a long time is the ability to share filters when you're sharing dashboards. So that's in there now. We also have the ability to do tile views for cases, tasks, and opportunities. And that's what some people would call a Kanban view. A lot of project management systems use that these days, and it's really pretty cool. The comment log for cases is another one I like, and now there's a dashlet that you can use to populate it. You can also insert URLs into the comment log field and they'll automatically be clickable. You can tag users in the comment log field and then they'll get a notification within Sugar. And you can also insert links to other Sugar records and have those be clickable to jump to the other Sugar record. There's an automated date field on cases now that will be populated when you close the case, so that's pretty cool for having metrics and reporting on your cases. Another big one is we're always looking for new functionality with Sugar BPM or their business process engine, and now you can work with the emails module as well as configure the from. So if Sugar BPM is sending an email, you can say who it's coming from. Another one we like here on the admin side of things is the Sugar Cloud Insights page. Admins can now see usage and access logs. In addition, you can see how big your database is, how much file system storage usage you're using, and if you really want to, even gain access to the PHP error logs of the system. A couple of other items. They've added a Business Centers module so you can start tracking your business hours and holidays in your organization. That way you'll know when people are working and when they're not. There's a new interactions dashlet when you're looking at records to show calls, emails, meetings, and notes in one place. We've gotten that request a lot. People wanting to see the history of a record all in one place. I already mentioned the comment log dashlet. There's a new home page for the service product where users should be able to do all of their work from one screen. So that's really nice for those users. And then they've added some sample or stock process definitions for case routing and service level agreement management that if they don't work exactly for you, you can always copy and modify for your needs, as well as some new out-of-the-box reports. Again, you can use or copy for your needs. And as always with new releases, if you want more information, I would suggest you check out the documentation on Sugar's portal. They have very good documentation and release notes.
All right, Sugar has moved away from doing one large annual conference to having smaller, more regional events this year. So Sugar Connection San Francisco happened last month, early this month. I was actually there. It was kind of a blur since then. Life's been busy. Yeah, it's August. Yes, it was early this month. And that was a really great chance to get to dive a little deeper into understanding the changes that Sugar is making, really get some insight into the product direction and what the executive team is looking to build with Sugar, as well as to dive a little bit deeper into the sell, market, and serve products. The next Sugar Connection event will be in Boston at the end of September. And Justin and Logan will actually both be there. So if you're going, feel free to find them there and get to know them a little bit better.
And then as Megan mentioned, instead of doing our next user group in October, we're actually going to do it in September so that we can start diving into this new product suite a little bit more, a little bit sooner, because we know everybody has a lot of questions and wants to get a good handle on it. So that's what the next topic will be on, and we'll kind of cover Sugar Market, Sugar Sell, and Sugar Serve. That'll be September 19th. In the follow-up email to this, I'll include the registration link for that. And then following that, we'll go back to our every other month. So it's going to be kind of thrown off, but whatever. We'll do that in November, and we'll dive specifically in November into Sugar Serve. So think about the things that you want to know about, bring your questions, and hopefully we can get those answered for you. All right, well, Logan, you did an amazing job because there are no questions. So if anybody thinks of anything, of course, you know that you can always reply to the follow-up email I'm going to send, and or reach out directly to your customer success manager or Megan or Justin or myself. We just want to say thank you to Logan again for loaning us his expertise today on this new and exciting product and giving us that insider's viewpoint. So thank you for that, Logan.
Of course. Thank you for having me today, and thank you everyone for joining. I'm excited for you all to hopefully get to learn a little bit more about Sugar Market and the future of CRM and the direction that we're heading.
Fantastic. Well, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their week, and we'll talk to you in September.